All right, what's up, folks? I figured I could put this together pretty quickly here. It's March 6, 2025. So, going to see if I can do this without any breaks or retakes or anything like that. We're just going to make a spread. So, obviously, I have a lot going on here, but I need to make another. Indicator to simply show the spread. So, on this chart here is where I record a lot of my daily activity. I used to record it on the other screen, but I'm recording a lot of it here because I'm actively in the process of learning more about time and sales, tape reading, and that kind of thing. So I want to put spread on here, right? So if you look at my other chart, you can see that I have the spread here. So I want to have the spread on this other chart as well. I mean, you have it here, but visibly, I want to see it like on the 15-second chart or the 1 minute time frame or something like that. So I'm going to put together a quick indicator that it shows us the spread, and then I'll hop off and do some other things. Okay, all right, I'm gonna put some music on for myself though, so you guys just listen to the melodies and watch me program for a few minutes. This shouldn't take very long. All right, so pretty much here we need to we're going to use a market depth provider so that we can get the accurate information for the spread on each individual tick. So with the market depth provider, we'll be using the events page, the events handler over here. So when we do have a new event for market depth, whether it's an updated bid tick, bid ask, anything like that, we can directly tap into what's going on with the market depth. So before we can use that though, we want to make sure that the market depth provider is actually loaded, because the market depth event handlers come up pretty quick, and sometimes they can come up without even having the market depth completely loaded. So I'm going to use tsdata.com, and that's going to allow us to access the states of the market depth. So if I'm going to do this, we're going to rename this just so it's easier to type out. We do want to load it. The symbol will be symbol. Design will be called MDP. And with that, okay, so if MDP.state is equal to data state dot loaded, then begin end. And now we're going to access what's going on with the market depth. So we're going to use the levels to find out what the bid and the ask are. So the spread, since you're going to plot, well, so this is the thing. So we're not just going to plot the spread. I'll show you both ways. We don't want to just plot the spread because that's going to change with every tick. But I'll show you that first, and then I'll show you what I've ended up doing. So there's a couple different ways you could do it. You might use an average of the spread, or you could do the low of the spread or the high spread for the entire bar, but we'll do this way first. So plot there's going to be a double called Z spread. Okay, so Z spread is going to be equal to the difference between the ask and the bid. So the market depth provider dot ask levels of the 0 most recent one, and then that's going to be the price. Yes, minus the MVP dot bid levels of that dot price. All right, so we can plot the Z spread for each move that we have there. Okay, so we're just going to verify that. See that we have no issues. Come back over here to radar 2. All right, so for the 15-second time frame, we're going to load that up. That's spread simple with MVP. And I will put this as interbar persist only because I will probably be doing something with it here shortly that's a little bit different. We have one max bar back setting. So you see here, these are the spreads. So every time we have a new tick there, we're getting a new spread level. Typically for like ES, the spread is around 0.25. So you're typically most often going to see it end up being 0.25. Now, when the bar ends, whatever the spread is at, that's what spread is going to remain as the value for the plot. So if we want to find out what the largest spread was amongst that entire bar, you see it goes up to 0.5, but then it drops back down to 0.25 by the time the bar closes. So what we have to do is we have to go and make some modifications on our script. So we want to find the highest spread, right? So let's make a variable that will persist across the entire module. So it'll be called high spread. There's going to be a double. And so we're going to say that the high spread is going to be max list. So the maximum of either whatever the high spread currently is or this Z spread. And we have to calculate the Z spread before we come down here and do this function here, the max list. So Z spread. Okay, so now we're going to be capturing the highest between the high spread and the Z spread. So what you will end up plotting is high spread. Now, only thing is when we get to the end of the bar, we need to reset the high spread. Okay, so if bar status of that first data stream is equal to 2, so if it's a final tick of the bar, then begin, end. I've been working on my typing. I mean, I'm up in upper 60s as far as the words per minute, but I've been working on it to get it up to mid 70s. So errors. Okay, so if bar status 1 is equal to 2, then begin. We're going to reset the high spread is equal to 0. And again, this needs to be able to change within this. This already essentially is interbar persist, but this needs to be able to change within this event handler. So this needs to be an interbar persist variable. All right, verified. Okay, high spread. All right, now verified. Okay, where are my errors? Oh, there. All right. Oh, there. I typically don't put these spaces in here. That's why you see why I'm not doing it like I'm supposed to. Okay, so let's come back over here to the radar screen. You see now we've got something a little bit different going on, right? So now this high here is holding 0.75. Now it held, right? So it didn't drop back down to 0.25. Now we're holding our max spread. And this is what you typically, well, this is what I typically expect, right? So if we get a low, if we have a swing or a lowest point and then price breaks below that, if it is going to hold or reject, become a reversal, or create a new base, then on that rejection candle, typically see a little bit higher spreads there. So see, is that going to hold or not, or is 0.75 on the spread high enough? What we can do is we can go back to this other screen here. I can show you on this time frame, 15-second time frame. We're going to zoom out. Is that as far out as we can go? There we go. Okay, so you see here as price came down all throughout the morning from 7 o'clock all the way down to 9:45 or so, it reached its lowest point there. And I'm getting a little lag, doing a lot with the processing of the computer in 3 workspaces, and then we're streaming and everything else. So all right, let's try it again. There we go. Okay, so we got a potential low there. Oh, come on. Come on. Get out of there. Yeah, it's really lagging on me. All right. But you see here, when price started coming down to this low area here, was going to decide whether or not this was going to be a area of support. Come on. All right. The spread got really wide through here, right? And this wasn't even news, right? So the news is back here, unemployment claims. We also have news around 3:30 today, but I've been putting in orders while I've been doing all this clicking. So let me turn off order. And that's one thing that you will also come to realize is that when you open up your utilization monitor, you'll see that if you are trading on any one of your platforms, then any one of your desktops, then the active trader or the chart trading seems to take up a lot of bandwidth for your computer. So let's see if it'll load back up. Yep, everything's super slow right now. Sheesh. I don't know. Let me try closing one of my other desktops that I'm not really using. Okay, all right, so close one of the desktops and still not getting much responsiveness here on this desktop. Okay, I opened up the, wow. Yeah, so I just with everything I was doing just then, I ended up putting in multiple orders, right? So while I was playing around trying to make those boxes and it wasn't responding, what it was trying to do was actually put me into orders and make orders, all these you see here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cancel all the orders that are in there. We're going to close the position and we're going to turn off chart trading. Well, I tell you what, while chart trading is still on, let's go back to the other display here so we can see when I sort this according to like the distribution of what's used. I don't see chart trading up here. It's usually somewhere at the very top. It's usually taking up a good bit of bandwidth for the computer. See, maybe it's total calls. Anyway, just take my word for it. I'm trying to find it. Sheesh. All right. I think it's just called chart trading. So if we can go alphabetically. Chart trading right here. Now I had just turned that on, but it's like, you see all the execution times up here, average execution time over the past, what, 10 microseconds? Average time in microseconds over the last 10 seconds that is calling. This one is way higher than like everything else over here, right? The maximum execution time, this is pretty high, 3,300 compared to all these other things. And I'm doing a lot of stuff, streaming and using global dictionaries and all that kind of stuff. But this chart trading takes up a lot of bandwidth. And so again, it's slowing down the computer. And at one time I would have that open. Okay, so now we have it. So I have it sorted for average execution time at the top. The only thing that's higher than that is my flattened order ticket. It's one of like my main indicators that I use. That's this guy here. It's the main indicator that I use to kind of keep track of when I have indicators on, you know, if it's for futures or if it's for stocks, when I have, you know, indicators on, whether or not I'm ready to flatten. It's kind of my master control. Anyway, all right, so that's the only thing that takes more bandwidth, and that's on this works on a tick by tick basis and uses a lot of data providers and that kind of thing too. But like I said, so having chart trader on takes up a lot of, look at this, takes up a lot of bandwidth. All right, so here, back to what we were saying, back to here, is this a good base, right? We had a wide spread right here. There was news back here, but there's no other news, you know, kind of going on through here. Other than that, we had high ticks here. We had a high spread here. We had a high amount of market activity going on here. We didn't, well, we do have a high amount of bids, orders hitting the bid here, but yeah, that's all. I'm surprised. Here, bids completely disappeared. Bids and asks disappeared right in here, which is very peculiar. But now over here, way over here, look at this huge reaction here. This huge reaction of the market. All right, so this right here, this is level 2. So